Well, it's been a decade, over a decade, since the sin tax law was passed. How effective has it been in discouraging Filipinos from smoking? Institute for Leadership, Empowerment and Democracy, or ILEAD researcher Ken Abante joins us now in the studio. Ken, great to have you with us. So with this rise in sin taxes, particularly for tobacco prices a decade ago, has it discouraged more of our kababayans from smoking?
Yes, Rico, it has. Smoking prevalence has actually gone down by a third over the past decade, from around nearly 30% to now around 18%. The same for young people.
All right, we've seen a reduction, so why does ILEAD still believe that there is still room for an increase in tobacco taxes?
Yes, our findings suggest, according to the World Health Organization, we still have, tobacco still remains affordable, like from an absolute basis. A pack of cigarettes costs 100 pesos, like around in 2020. It's just around 5 pesos per stick, which means it's still affordable.
Well, that's our economy, the tingi-tingi economy.
That's right, Rico. There's also,
instead of buying the whole pack, they would just buy one cigarette off a vendor off the street.
There's also a double World Health Organization recommendation saying that the tax share as a percent of retail price should be around 75% to really discourage people from smoking. And the reason for this is so that people don't have the burden of disease, having to spend that much for illnesses that are caused by smoking, from lung disease to different types of heart ailments, among other things that health advocates have pushed for.
Because according to the numbers, Ken, the Philippines already ranks first in Southeast Asia in terms of taxing tobacco as a means of discouraging smoking. But of course, not all Filipinos buy the pack, which is of course expensive, and you break it down, you have it only at 5 pesos per stick. So should that be eliminated, that tingi-tingi purchasing?
Yeah, Rico, it's honestly very hard, to regulate that. But global studies show that taxation remains the most cost-effective means to discourage smoking, and that's why many health advocates believe that and support tobacco taxes.
And by how much more should a pack of cigarettes be increased?
So we don't have a number per se, but because of the World Health Organization recommendations, again, the tax share as a percent of retail price is currently at 56%. And the World Health Organization's health advisory believes it should be around 75%. So even if, we scored, high in terms of that tobacconomics scorecard, we still rank low in tax share, we still rank low in terms of affordability. And tobacco use actually remains to be the top one risk factor for causing the most death and disability in the country, according to the International Health Metrics Global.
There's still a lot of upside, right? From 56 to 75%.
That's right.
And by increasing that, that means more revenues as well.
That's right.
For the government. But is this a priority, do you think, of our lawmakers? Because they will have to make the changes to increase the price of tobacco.
We certainly hope it's a priority, since according to, again, it's still the top factor causing the most death and disability in the country. So we believe it should be in the priorities. Our findings certainly suggest that. The health advocates we've spoken to certainly believe that.
But have you spoken to lawmakers on both aisles, the lower house and in the Senate, to encourage them to increase taxes once again to discourage more of our kababayans from smoking?
So there's a coalition that does that. I guess from our point of view as researchers, we provide the evidence, as to where it currently stands, and that's what the current evidence is.
Are you gaining any traction? I mean, there's a coalition to support an increase in taxes, especially for tobacco. Are we seeing any supporters from our lawmakers?
Currently, it's honestly a struggle at the moment, Rico. And
It seems
especially
like it's
with
not a priority.
and especially since there's also a trend of increasing e-cigarette use.
There you go. Vaping.
yes,
I see
vaping.
that a lot now on the streets, especially among the youth.
Exactly.
Teenagers vaping.
Yes, and even 13 to 15-year-olds, 14% of them are current vape users, even if they're not supposed to have access to these products. And there's already emerging evidence, according to the World Health Organization, that we should protect our children from the potential harmful effects of e-cigarettes.
Okay, what about when you talk about harmful effects? What's more harmful, the stick or the vape?
There's a principle in health called the precautionary principle. So there's
Because they say if you vape, well, oops, I'm better off. I'm much better off, right? Instead of smoking with a stick.
So that's what industry says. Harm reduction is their main argument. They say that. However, I honestly do not have the expertise to judge. I am not.
You're not a doctor.
Epidemiologist. I'm not a doctor. So I cannot answer that question, Rico. But what I can tell you is that the World Health Organization has said that it's it's raising alarm
It's also
bells.
dangerous.
It has physical and mental.
And taxes
effects.
also have to be increased.
Yes.
For e-cigarettes.
There was a law that was passed in 2020 or 2021 that imposed taxes on e-cigarettes. However, there was also a recent study and a survey that said more than half of those surveyed online vape stores did not have prices, had prices that were actually lower than their excise tax due. So meaning there appears to be some tax administration concerns.
But the bottom line is we have to have stronger tax administration.
That's right.
In terms of collecting taxes, and if we raise those taxes, then I'm sure it will encourage some of our lawmakers to raise taxes for tobaccos once again. Thank you so much for joining us on The Final Word. Ken Abante from the Institute for Leadership, Empowerment, and Democracy. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Rico. Thank you.